What's up guys, it's Anders here, and in today's video I want to share a really simple technique for helping your vocals just kind of pop out at the end of your track.
No deal, I'm jaws on the beat, I got flow that kills. Do my thing with a few G's, Lauren Hill.
So we're going to use a track today that I released a little while ago, but it's a mix that sounds really good. Like I've had feedback from fans, had feedback from the mastering engineer and everything, that it's a sound good mix. And you know, I released this track using the channel sponsor DistroKid. You know, they're the distributor I use to get my music out onto all the platforms. They can help me get on Spotify playlists. They've got loads of great services. In fact, I'll link a video down below where you can check out my 5 favorite hidden features in DistroKid. If you want a discount off your first year with them as well, that'll be linked below as well for you. So let's just have a look at this bit here. We're just going to loop this section here.
Feeling heavy, but now I'm steady, going up from hitting the ground.
And we're not going to look at the individual vocal mix, but instead we're going to look at this bus here, the All Vox. It's got 2 plugins on it, an EQ and a multiband.
Feeling heavy, but now I'm steady, going up from hitting the ground.
You basically heard no difference, right? Let's be honest, there's basically no difference. But when we put it in context to the track, right, there's loads of difference. Check this out.
Feeling heavy, but now I'm steady, going up from hitting the ground. You heard me while I gave you plenty of love and time, but I started.
So hopefully you heard that, right? Switch them off and it just kind of becomes a little bit duller. It disappears into the rest of the track. Independently, you don't really notice it, but when everything else is there, it makes a big difference. Let's bring the plugins up here. So we're still using Pro Q2. All it does, it rolls off the low end down from what? We've got 100 hertz there, because there's just nothing there. You know, someone kicking the mic stand, that sort of thing. Want to get rid of that. That's all that does. Doesn't do anything else. All that really happens here comes from the multiband, and I'm using it a bit like an EQ to push up in that key area, and that is the area that was getting lost in the mix. But because it's a multiband compressor, the second there's enough level in that area, it pulls it back. You can actually watch what happens here. Check it out.
Feeling heavy, but now I'm steady, going up from hitting the ground.
So hopefully that's enough for you. So do you get it? So it's boosting up at that frequency, which is the key area in the vocal, right?
Feeling heavy, but now
It's the bit that your ear latches onto.
going up from hitting the ground.
And that sometimes there's not enough area there, that it kind of gets muddied out by everything else. But because we're boosting it up on the multiband here, the second there is enough volume, because of the way we've set our thresholds and everything on this channel, it pulls it back a bit. So it just always sounds like it's sitting right in the right spot. Now you could compress the whole vocal and do that, but as we can see here with some of the lower frequency, you know, at times that's just too much. So that's always being controlled and it's always being pulled down. I'm never adding to that. Just adds too much to it.
You heard me while
So we've put this nice bit of shine in there, but it's not always shining. If you boost up with an EQ and go, shoo, it's always bright. And when it gets to the bright bit of the vocal, it's now too bright and it's going to stick out and become a bit harsh. This lets us do that, but still keep it really, really controlled.
feeling heavy, but now I'm steady, going up from hitting the ground. You heard me while I gave you plenty of love and time, but I started to drown.
Let's have a look how we would set it up, shall we? So what we'll do, I'll disable it. Boop. Right, so that one's dead. Let's bring in a FabFilter Pro MB. Boom, there you are, brand new instance. You can use any multiband compressor that also lets you do expansion. All right, so what we'd do here, I would actually play the whole track like this.
Feeling heavy,
What I'm going to do is grab a point and I'll give it a little boost.
going up from hitting the ground.
And I want to hear.
You heard me while I gave you plenty of love and time, but I started
balance here. I want to hear that space where it helps it pop through the mix. I've done a crazy boost here, right? But we can probably dial it to about 3 dB. It definitely doesn't need to be really lower at any points. We could just gauge it back a little bit like this.
Feeling heavy, but
Now we've got to set the threshold.
Going up from hitting the ground. You heard me while I gave you plenty of love and time, but I started to drown.
But this time I'm feeling a little bit less attack.
Heavy, but now I'm steady. Going up from hitting the ground. You heard me while I gave you plenty of love and time.
Now, just out of my own curiosity, let's see how different that is to the one that I dialed in over God knows however many hours. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, so I brought down a fair bit more on my final one. It's less of a boost, maybe like, what, it's 2.1 rather than 3 dB. Frequency wise though, pretty much spot on. I got the same area. Sarah just did that on the fly. I just keep dialing it in more and more over time. But that's it, guys. That is my simple tip. Using a multiband compressor to boost that area that needs to come out, rather than grabbing the EQ and cranking it. But yeah, that bit sounds great, and then a nice high bit in the vocal comes in, and the rest of it's just ruined. Instead, doing it this way just allows you to have so much more control and just really maintain that balance throughout. I hope that's helpful for you guys. I hope you like this format of video, far more relaxed, less hype, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Feeling heavy, but now I'm steady.